Shh. Hear that? Big waves are calling. Dive into refreshment with Kona Big Wave. Tropical flavor and the taste of aloha in every drop. So crack one open and let the great taste roll in. Kona Big Wave, liquid aloha. Copyright 2025 Kona Brewing Co., St. Louis, Missouri. Mahalo for enjoying responsibly.
On WhatsApp, no one can see or hear your personal messages. Whether it's a voice call, message, or sending a password. To WhatsApp, it's all just this. So whether you're sharing the streaming password in the family chat or trading those late-night voice messages that could basically become a podcast, your personal messages stay between you, your friends, and your family. No one else. Not even us. WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone.
Hi, I'm Ben Harper.
Hey, this is Brad Lukowicz. Hey, this is Lou Temple. You know me as Axel on The Walking Dead.
This is Smooth Betsy Henderson.
Hi, this is William Duvall, singer of Alice in Chains.
Hi, this is Jim Cuddy from Blue Rodeo.
Hi, I am Zach Ward.
Hey guys, it's Alexis Ajoria, 7-time NHRA National Event Champion.
Hey, what's going on? This is Bubbles.
This is Ricky. This is Julian.
And you're listening to the Toddcast Podcast, baby.
The Toddcast Podcast
is powered by Citywide Mortgage Services, providing complete financing and mortgage services for residential and small commercial businesses. Visit them at citywidemortgage.ca.
Now, here's your host, Todd Hancock.
When you're a kid chasing the dream of becoming a pro sports player, everything must feel like it matters, hey? Every little league game, every swing in the cage, every compliment from a coach. You build your identity around that. And when you care that much, of course, the other side, every setback feels terrible. A slump at 14 feels like it's a career-ending drought. An injury feels like it's a closing door. The grind is relentless. You're constantly proving yourself to scouts, coaches, teammates. There's always someone bigger, better, stronger, faster. And the mental weight. You train like crazy, eat right, lift, study the game. You learn to fail in public. And through it all, there's no guarantee that you'll make it professionally. Well, one of this week's guests, Vancouver Canadians third baseman Sean Keys, knows all about the grind to become pro.
Well, honestly, throughout high school, I was a top player. I always felt on any team that I played for and any team we played against, and I was working to be a college player at that point. I didn't even think about the pros. That seemed like kind of foreign in my area. I hadn't heard of many players signing pro. Then a kid a year older than me in high school actually signed and with the Phillies. And then I went to college and started playing well my sophomore year. And that's when I really realized I had a shot.
You gotta love that. I was working to be a college player at that point. I didn't even think about the pros. So joining Vancouver Canadians third baseman Sean Keys, the acting world can be brutal, right? Constantly proving yourself, chasing roles, juggling side gigs, trying not to let no mess with your head. It takes serious guts to keep at it, keep showing up. And actress-singer Rosita Young knows what I'm talking about. So which came first, acting or singing?
I would say they came around the same time when I was in high school. I was always like in advanced classes, so I ran out of classes to take. I went to Inglewood High School in Los Angeles County. And the principal put me in band. Like, she just didn't ask me. She just was like, okay, you're going to be in music and band. I'm like, okay. She was like, you need another elective. I don't know what to tell you. So,
hey, sometimes things just work out. She goes, the principal put me in band. She didn't even ask. She was just like, you're going to be in music and band. So you'll hear from Rosita in just a little bit. And this week's musical guest in just a second, the singer of a band based out of Southern California. My name is Todd Hancock. Thank you so much for being there. Before we get things rolling this week, of course, I wanted to thank our title sponsor, Citywide Mortgage Services, for all of their support over the years. A good friend of mine, Dara, is one of the owners. You can trust that he is on the level. He's in my inner circle. I've always said it. Use my network to better yours. If you hear of a business or a company, a recording studio through my podcast, know that they're friends of mine. They're buddies. And we're all in it for the common purpose, the common goal of making your life better. It's simple. So if you're buying a house, refinancing, tapping into your equity, Citywide Mortgage Services can dial that up for you. They work for you. They don't work for the banks. And they've been doing this since the 90s. And I know that you know the name. And for good reason. They're elite in that world, getting people the best mortgage possible. Dara and his team will give you a free consultation if you want that. Expert advice, of course, zero pressure. It's like having a money-savvy buddy in your corner. I renewed my mortgage back in January. It was literally a couple of phone calls, couple emails. Talk to Dara, or I guess anybody, at citywidemortgage.ca. Getting a mortgage doesn't have to be stressful, and it won't be. All right, so coming up in just a few minutes, in Listen to This, actor Zach Ward talks about how Shakespeare was the Married with Children of its time. That is powered by Tedco RV Supplies in Langley. RV service, repairs. Yes, they are ICBC accredited, which is a great thing. 9-year sponsor. 9 years. Absolutely key to what we've been doing for years and years. Big love, big love to Tamara and her incredible team there. You can find them kicking around online from time to time as well through Facebook and Twitter at Tedco RV Supplies. First, our first guest of 3, this week's musical guest is Carbonwire singer Matt Vistnes. You know, every once in a while you'll come across an account online, a social media page that you just get, right? Well, Matt, for me personally, has one of those accounts. He is a crushing, and I mean font size 500, a crushing guitar player. And the first video I saw of his on his Instagram account, he was showing you how to play Metallica's Seek and Destroy. And there's nothing like finding a good social media account, the ones that remind you why you fall in love with music in the first place. Well, it turns out, as mentioned, Matt's band is killer as well. They're called Carbonwire.
Carbonwires? Oh, man. I've been doing that since 2019.
Oh, shit. So you guys are deep in that.
Yeah. I mean, it was, you talk about like years active versus like years actually doing stuff.
Yeah.
And you throw in the whole pandemic thing and you're looking.
Well, that had to just fucking totally upturn the cart, right? Like, what did you guys do for that time?
Jeez, we kind of just waited
a
lot. There was a lot of writing in the back end, a lot of like writing going on at home. Or like, well, nothing else to do. Let's just hang out and write.
Yeah.
And, you know, at least half of that time was actually recording the album. And then I don't think we got into live shows until about May of 2022. And then that was, we had like 6 months where we were playing, we released the album. And then there was another like 8 or 9 months off because our bass player was having some heart problems. So we had to find a solution. That's how we got Tanner in the band. And it's just been kind of on and off until about a year ago. We really started playing again.
Well, it's game on again because I was saying like, hey, why don't you jump on this day? And you're like, dude, actually the single comes that kind of works out pretty good for us. So what's the single called?
The single's called Shiver. It's I don't think we've ever done anything this heavy.
Oh.
Yeah. We were like a kind of a heavy rock meets a little bit softer metal, kind of distorted guitars and high tempo drums, but a lot of it was very it was really grungy. Very inspired by Nirvana and Pink Floyd and kind of stuff like that. And then I think during the pandemic, we started listening to a bunch of Architects, and I think Polaris was one of them as well. A bunch of the newer, heavier bands, and kind of just got into the whole, like, where's the heavy, like, we wanted to get into, like, the heavy sort of movement of it, because a lot of it was just kind of like, if you've ever seen Pink Floyd, I mean, I'm sure you have, it's like, it's very spacey. There's not a lot of movement when you watch them. So we wanted to bring in a little bit of like movement and energy into the crowd, as well as having the sense of size. So.
Oh man, what a quote. There's nothing else to do. Let's just hang out and write. Ah, yes, indeed, COVID. What a time to be alive. So Matt's band, Carbonwire, originally they're from Los Angeles. And I know that bands hate it when you try to describe their sound, but here goes. A little bit of grunge, a little bit of metalcore, metal, hard rock, They all had a baby, and out came Carbonwire. Jump to Zoom with Matt for, I think it was just over an hour or something like that. You can hear it right now. You can see it through iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Megaphone. We also, of course, post all of our videos at our YouTube channel, all at Toddcast Podcast. How about that? Some branding. So listen to Matt talk about coming up with the concept for his incredible Instagram account.
I have my friend Zoe to thank for that. I was always so not willing to get into the social media game because I was super judgmental, and I was like, it's a time sink, and like it's a, all these notions about it, and like I just had the wrong idea about it. And I worked at Guitar Center up until January of this year, and they closed the location down, and they were like, all right, you guys are going to be finding some new jobs right now. So I'm like, oh shit, what do I do? I was like, well, I'll teach privately. So I started the social media thing really as a way to like find some clients. Yeah. And it kind of turned into a thing of like, well, maybe I'm not going to turn it into like a client finding thing, more as like, I want to help as many people as possible play guitar. And I can't do that with all the time that I have available to, so many hours in a day. But what I did know how to do was learn songs the way they were written, playing in tribute bands and I did a lot of school work at Musicians Institute, where they have a really big emphasis on playing it exactly as it was written, as a sign to show respect to the artist who recorded it. And I was like, well, okay, this is how you do this. And then every time I it was just kind of these tips, or not tips, but like I found myself learning or teaching the same songs at Guitar Center over and over again. And they'd all came in with the like ideas of how to play the songs. And I'm like, nope.
You're like, that's close.
It's close. It's close.
Not really.
Doesn't go like this. It actually goes like this.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what the first, I think it was Unholy Confessions that I did, where it's like Unholy Confessions doesn't go like this. It actually goes like this. It came from my own idea of how to play the song. I thought, Holy Confessions might go like, where he's palm muting the low D, but he's not. He's pulling off. There's a pedal tone in there, and that blew my mind. And I was like, wait a minute, what the hell? Like, people need to know about this. Yeah. So when I was making the video, I was kind of saying it to myself as like hey, Unholy Confessions doesn't go like this. Check this out. This is how it really goes. And people lost their fucking minds over it.
Yeah.
It was like, okay.
You're like, oh, okay, hold up a sec here. Light bulb, like going down that road.
Yeah, it's something. And it's hard to keep it real because it can easily turn into a thing where it's like I don't know, where it becomes packaged. It doesn't go like this. It actually goes like this. And then you start like making stuff up on how to play it. And it's just, some of the videos are like, hey, this is how you do it. And then some of the videos are like, wait a minute, this is how everyone else plays it. This is how it actually goes. So, I don't know how it became, this is how you really do it, but that's, I guess, what everyone talks about. They're like, oh, dude, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was also so not willing to get into the social media game because I was super judgmental. I think that everyone can kind of relate to that, right? As we normally do, we got into it with Matt talking about Eddie Van Halen, Jimi Hendrix, social media and marketing his band. Pink Floyd came up, so did Metallica, Nirvana, Devin Townsend, and the first bands to really grab his attention.
I think the bands to grab me was, honestly, it was Metallica for a long time. I live under a musical rock. I still listen to the same shit that I did
Same
20 years ago. Yep.
Yeah.
So I think the first bands that people showed me were Pink Floyd was the second one after Metallica that I was like, oh my God, what is this?
Mm.
And then it was Nirvana. I discovered Devin Townsend through I don't know if you know who he is.
Yeah, he's a buddy.
Yep. Discovered him through a friend that I had in high school and listened to him for a long time. And, through Metallica, I found Megadeth and I found Slayer and I found Anthrax. And they were like, those were bands that I liked. They didn't grab me in the same way that Metallica, Nirvana, and Pink Floyd did.
Sure. Would you say that Pantera did?
Pantera? Not so much. They were more like more like these offshoot bands that I discovered where I was like, yeah, it's cool. It sounds like the same thing that I found in Metallica. It's just a different flavor of that. And I like it. But am I going to listen to it more than Metallica? Does it hit me in the same way right here? No.
Yeah.
No, I think that's just because I didn't discover them until later. But,
okay.
Kind of hard for you to not feel called out just a little bit. I live under a musical rock. I still listen to the same shit I did 20 years ago. Yeah, dude, don't we all? Matt talked about Megadeth, the Elvis experience, first concerts. We talked about family, Jimmy Page, and the mighty Led Zeppelin.
His work on that, I really like his bluesy stuff. Obviously, Whole Lot of Love and like Black Dog. I don't know how he comes up with the stuff he does. He's another guy that's just like, dude, that man is a conduit for something that is not him.
Oh, for sure. I think if you were to talk to him, he'd be like, oh yeah, no, something takes over.
Yeah. I think a lot of them, there's something about, there's this book that I read, The Man Who Tapped the Secrets of the Universe by, I can't remember who it's by, but it's about this guy called Walter Russell. And he talks about how this creative process is something about a connection to a source. And it's all about like listening for the source. And the source will give you ideas if you're in tune with it. And all you have to do is just like get out of the way with the ego and step aside and let the source kind of speak through you, and then you just kind of do as it's commanded of you. And I can totally see that, because sometimes, there's just stuff that comes out where you're like, what the hell? Where did that come from? That doesn't sound like anything. Right?
And you're just hoping at that point, first off, that you're recording it, but then also that you can play it again.
Really, I hope I can sing and play it at the same time. That's the big thing.
I've talked to enough musicians, singer, guitarists, that are like, no, dude, you can't think of the guitar parts. You just fucking play that and you sing. Mm-hmm. You can't think of both, because then you'll just mess it up.
Yeah.
The Toddcast podcast is powered by Milano Coffee, bringing you the finest espresso and coffee concepts in the world. Online at milanocoffee.ca.
As I beg to feel desired, that my tongue
Listen to this on the Toddcast podcast.
Someone asked me the other day on Facebook, which movie have you seen the most? And if you're at all like me and my family, it has to be a Christmas movie, right? Christmas Vacation, Scrooged, Elf, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, A Christmas Story. We watch so many Christmas movies during the holidays. I've probably seen all of the ones I've just mentioned like 15, 20 times each, at least. So to get one of the actors from A Christmas Story on the cast, Zach Ward played Scut Farkas, the bully in the movie, arguably the best Christmas movie all time, certainly right up there, pretty damn cool. And you'll know Zach from so many other incredible roles as well. He, of course, was Dave on Titus, the stoner half-brother. You've seen him on NCIS, Lost, Crossing Jordan. He's had roles in Almost Famous, Transformers. He was in Resident Evil Apocalypse, Freddy vs. Jason, and a lot more. Love this part of our interview where Zach talks about how Shakespeare was the Married with Children of its time. Listen to this.
You know, I'm watching these movies with my older brother, and we're watching Easy Rider and The Shining and Deer Hunter and Phantom of the Paradise and some weird-ass movies. Films like, you know, nowadays, if you're under the age of 15, they feed you pablum. Until you can legally allowed to see an R-rated film, but back then
you ain't watching Deer Hunter today if you're under 50.
No. So it was a great education because I was accelerated into my appreciation of acting because it wasn't what my peers at school were into. It's what somebody who adored film appreciated. So it kind of forced my hand. And then I started getting, as I got older, I was at 8. By the time I was 8 years old, I had seen a lot of performances. And at the age of 8, I watched an actor do a scene in a Shakespearean play that I was very much excited about because they said naughty things. For those of you who aren't aware, Shakespeare was pretty much the Married with Children back in the day. Right. Said a lot of boob jokes and butt jokes in Shakespearean pentameter, but it was funny.
Listen to this on the Toddcast podcast is brought to you by Tedco RV Supplies in Langley, an ICBC-approved repair shop. Visit them on Facebook and Twitter at Tedco RV Supplies. And now, highlighting our next Blue Light Sessions, powered in part by Canadian Club Whiskey. Meet your new cold one. We serve Canadian Club and Ginger ready-to-drink cocktails at all of our live shows. Visit CanadianClub.com today.
We didn't see in the clouds coming straight our way, bringing a rain that loosens all the stems in its way. We lived in silence for days, no contest. We let a sharp wind tear our seams to shreds. Why are you over there? When I'm over here, I've been chasing you away, but you ain't doing just the same. Now we're caught out here in this rain, hoping it all just washes away. Can we just let this home go? Take that trip down to Mexico. Let this dry out under the sun till we forget what we've just done. There wasn't much more that we could really say. Too much time was spent crafting your silent escapes. How are you over there? When
did a show with them last summer, and it was just so good that I was like, man, I got to get these guys to play another show for us. The band is called Focus Your Audio, and a great song for those guys. It's called Over There, and you're 10 days away from our next show with them on Friday, August 22nd, the Blue Light Studio, the Toddcast Podcast, Blue Light Sessions, Volume 41. Focus Your Audio, Antonio La Rosa. It is going to be a fantastic night. I believe I think we're just past halfway, which in the next week or so we'll start to shave off. So if you want to make sure you get in, grab a ticket through eventbrite.ca, Eventbrite, B-R-I-T-E. Search Toddcast. You can't miss our shows. It's $20 in advance. It's $25 if you want to gamble and wait for the door, and hopefully tickets will be available. But the gist is I interview the bands. You can ask questions of them as well while they perform. It's kind of, if you remember Much Music's intimate and interactive back in the day, that's what we try for. Something like that. It's very, it's a unique night. It's you'll walk away from that night going like, damn, that was pretty damn cool. I like that night. 7:00 for the doors. The show starts at 8-ish, something like that. I played you new Steve Bays, of course, at Hot Heat, Fur Trade, Mounties, and all the other cool projects that he's been in. Now, this song's been out for about a few months now, so let's just say his latest song. It's called Women's Jeans. I've been back and forth with Steve about playing a podcast show at Blue Light Studio. It's not a no at this point, so we'll see. If it happens, it will likely be towards the end of the year, November, December, maybe even January, February. It's in that kind of those months anyway. Okay, so coming up shortly, and stop me if you've heard this before, Todd Kearns shares his thoughts on getting a star on BC's Walk of Fame, the one you see on Granville Street there, downtown Vancouver. That's powered by the Home Dwell Group, longtime friends of the podcast. I've known one of the partners since elementary school, and he's been in that industry since graduating high school, designing homes, buildings downtown Vancouver that you'd likely know. The kid is a stud. If you're buying a house, selling your home, contact Kyle, and he'll sort you out through homedwell.ca, homedwell.ca. First, the second of three Toddcast guests this week is our sporting guest, third baseman for your Vancouver Canadians, Sean Keys. Sean's new to the team, of course. This is his first season. He's been playing ball his whole life, though. More on that in just a little bit. And what a team to join, right? High A affiliate of the Toronto Blue Jays. He was drafted last year by the Jays, 125th overall. As you know, the Canadians play at Nat Bailey Stadium. The team itself has won multiple Northwest League championships. Love going to the games. Personally, you can't beat the laid-back vibe, the cold drinks, the hot dogs. The crowd is into it. So listen to Sean talking about his first baseball memories.
One of my neighbors, one of my friends' dad was our coach in Little League, and my mom would help out. I remember that. I remember some of the tournament trips. Like, it was so cool to be able to go out east to the Hamptons on Long Island, or going to New Jersey, a big tournament there where my aunt lived. Just a lot of traveling and family is what I remember.
Yeah, and you were how old were you when you first started?
Ooh, as young as probably 6 or 7, 5, or maybe 5, in Little League, and then didn't start playing a higher level organization until 10, 11, 12. Yeah.
Okay. But T-ball was kind of the first thing for you, or?
Yeah, for sure.
And how about going, how old were you when you started going to pro games and, watching the bigs?
Oh, I remember, actually, that's definitely one of my beginning memories, is going with my nana and pop down in Florida. We went to a Yankees versus Rays game in Tropicana Field. And I remember that Derek Jeter hit a home run.
Oh, nice.
I think that was my first game. And then growing up, I've been to Mets and Yankees games in New York. So, yeah.
Still love going to them now, I bet, too. Right?
Maybe
it might almost even mean more to you now, considering how far you're into the game.
100%. A new appreciation for those players and what they do, yeah.
I like that. He goes, I remember some of those tournament trips. Cool to go out east to the Hamptons on Long Island. I love that. Love hearing people talk about the early years and kind of what drove them to be where they are today. The full talk with Sean is close to 20 minutes long. You can hear it, see it all over our social media feeds, all at Toddcast Podcast. Again, on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, all the videos. So Sean talked about the roar of the crowd at Nat Bailey Stadium, the winning history of the team, being competitive, and how fun ball is to watch. The stadium itself, built in 1951. It was restored, of course. Place holds 6,500 people, surprisingly, because when you're there, it doesn't really look or feel like it would hold that many people. But Sean got into talking about those early years of his career, cheering on the New York Yankees. He talked about today's best Major League Baseball players, competition, being drafted by the Jays, and whether they were a top 3 team that he wanted to play for.
Yeah, I'd say for sure. They were one of the most interested teams before the draft. The scouts described it as like, oh, did you get the warm and fuzzies from any teams? And the Blue Jays were definitely one of them. I had a really good relationship with the area scout. I had met with a couple other people in the organization.
Right. That's cool.
So I was definitely glad when they picked me.
Yeah. And so tell us about, what stands out from that day.
Ooh, it was definitely a high in my life. I was there with my family, my best friend from home and his dad, and then a couple family friends came over. We were watching, anticipating, and then it finally happened. And I got the call. My phone started exploding. I think I got over 200 messages. I had to just put my phone down because it was just ringing like crazy for congratulations. But it was just amazing. It was a dream come true for sure.
That's a cool quote. The scouts described it as, did you get any warm and fuzzies from the team? And the Blue Jays were definitely one of them. So cool, right? Hearing about people winning, I could do that all day long. Of course, we got into other stuff in Sean's life as well, like binging Suits and The Office. We talked about seeing concerts in Nashville. He brought up family, Marvel Comics as well. And he's a huge fan of superhero movies.
Oh, yeah. I'm a big Marvel fan. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay, so what's your favorite? I wanted to get into this a little bit, as am I. So what's your favorite superhero movie?
My favorite one? Ooh. It's tough to beat Endgame, or I think Infinity War is up there because it's got everyone. Yeah. Some really cool scenes, but I like the first Avengers is probably my favorite. The one where they're in New York, and it's like the main crew first getting together. I really like that one. Yeah. And then I also like the Iron Man 3 is one of them. Iron Man's definitely my favorite.
Well, I think Iron Man was one of those ones that kind of set here's the bar, you need to, Jon Favreau did a fantastic job, right? Like you need to hit here or otherwise don't make a movie.
Yeah. And then also probably Thor Ragnarok's a good one. A lot of funny lines in that one. I like Thor.
The arena fight, of course, is like one of the best scenes.
Guardians of the Galaxy. I love Chris Pratt. Might be my favorite actor of all time. I love
He's so movies. Good. I love the part in Galaxy where he picks up the rat thing and starts singing into it.
Yeah. Come and get your love.
He's so funny. Yeah. If you could have a superpower, which power would you want to have?
I think it would be to be able to fly, just to fly around and travel quickly.
Yeah.
And see everything from a bird's eye view. That would be super cool.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to get away from that one.
Yeah.
All right, I'll ask you two more. Teleportation.
Oh yeah.
Nightcrawler, X-Men, be somewhere instantly. You can teleport with whatever you can carry, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Red Truck Beer. Nothing delivers like a red truck. Official beer of the Toddcast podcast.
Sleepless nights, sleepless nights, 'cause you love me right. Sleepless nights, just a big blue sky in the desert here. Got the radio up so we can feel the beat. Now I'm singing loud 'cause I'm in the mood for greasy spoons and let that drive through. I wanna feel you close, I wanna hold you tight. I wanna be with you tonight. I wanna love you now, I wanna love you right. 'cause it loved me right. Sleepless nights, burning down a no-back road that we all know from long ago. I just want love that's true. That's how I feel with you. Want me close and wanna hold you tight. I wanna be with you tonight. Wanna love you now, I wanna love you right. So you can feel so sad tonight. Sleepless nights, sleepless nights. You love me right. Sleepless nights, sleepless nights. Sleepless nights, sleepless nights, 'cause you love me right. Sleepless
And now, stop me if you've heard this before on the Toddcast podcast.
Talk to any musician and you'll hear nothing but good things about Todd Kearns. He's the bassist. He's one of the conspirators in Slash's band, but you'll know him from fronting Age of Electric, Static and Stereo, Go Time, Sin City Sinners, Took, Minefield, and he says the best is yet to come, which is crazy. Todd and I go way back to the mid-90s when I was producing on-air shows for 99.3 The Fox here in Vancouver. I remember Todd coming through the station with Age of Electric, the Kern Brothers, the Dahl Brothers, at the time the forefront of rock here in Van. And we've kept in touch over the years. Todd's been a guest 5 times over our 11-year run. He's done about 4 or 5 live shows with us in that time as well. He was a guest right before COVID, right after COVID. We talked a fair amount about that and the effect in his world and how crazy it must have been for him. Todd lives in Las Vegas, the city that never sleeps, that eerily closed down during the pandemic. In his last visit, we talked about the downtime that we all had. Gave him a chance to get a creative energy going, new music, new albums. Todd talked about the Kiss Cruise as part of Bruce Kulick's band. We touched on his YouTube channel, his clothing line, the Damn It Wear, Anti-Star Designs. And stop me if you've heard this before, Todd talked about getting a star on BC's Entertainment Walk of Fame.
Well, half the time, that kind of stuff, you feel really fraudulent about it. Half the time, you're kind of like, oh man, it's like, you kind of feel like, well, you feel very appreciative of it, but there's sometimes you just kind of go, oh man, I don't know if that is a really surreal thing to me. I mean, honestly, to this day, a friend of mine, the band Dragon Force just played the Commodore. And my friend goes, yeah, we played the Commodore. I go, dude, my star's just down the street. And I go, and he goes, what? And I was like, it's just a weird thing to kind of just bring up, but it is.
Right. Yeah.
I'm by the Roxy, I don't know, actually. I think in a lot of ways, I think when it comes to Vancouver, I think things like Age of Electric and all that kind of stuff, I think they treated it all as a sort of, my whole career, I suppose, and everything that I've been doing that sort of somehow warrants me being next to Bryan Adams or Colin James or Sarah McLachlan or whoever else. It's it's greatly appreciated, but it's super surreal. But I think that my heart still always belongs in Vancouver. Every time I go back, that is, you know, as much as growing up in Saskatchewan, all those major years of my life were spent in Vancouver. You know, to the point now where I'm sure you're not unlike me with my kids, and I go, this used to be that, and that used to be this. This was never here, you know. Yeah,
totally.
I'm that guy now. You know, it's like, so it feels amazing. But I know that, and I keep saying this to my wife, and I think it's one of those interesting things that I kind of feel like I have the audacity to keep thinking like that. I don't think the big thing has really happened yet. It's a weird thing to say at this point in my life, but I still feel like there's still more to do. And I think that's important. You know what I mean? I think it's important to feel that way, because after a while, I just kind of imagine, you know, just going through the motions of it all, but like, and not really having much to say. So in a lot of ways, during the lockdown, it sort of had me writing a lot and working a lot with other people. And it kind of really opened up another part of my brain of like, you know what? The whole reason we do this is to make music. And to Slash's credit too, he's sort of like, he very easily could just be like phoning it in and playing guitar and being like, whatever. But he's very driven to make new music and to do new things and break new ground. He really has no reason to, you know, but he does it all the time. I think that's the true sign of being an artist.
Stop Me If You've Heard This Before on the Toddcast podcast is powered by the Homedwell Group. Buying a house? Selling your home? Contact Kyle at homedwell.ca today.
History had a share of hard times before you came along and set me free. Looking back in the review, we had nothing but time. Things are always gonna change without a reason or rhyme. Wherever you go, baby, I'll be right behind. Still got a whole lot of road that we gotta go down together. But baby, I don't think this will be any less than forever. When the wrong didn't turn to right, baby, we were worth the fight. Driving through, made it through. I'm still in love with you. See your face when I said but leave it all behind. I said, baby, we need nothing, got all the love we need to survive. When the hard days came, we always knew what to do. Read me just like a book when I didn't have a clue. The real thing, baby, call us Johnny and June. Still got a whole lot of road that we gotta go down together. Now, baby, didn't think this would be any less than forever. When the wrong didn't turn right, baby, we were worth the fight. Driving through, made it through. I'm still in love with you. Down together. Baby, little things this would be any less than forever. When the wrong didn't turn right, baby, we were worth the fight. I tried and true, made it through. I'm still in love with you. You know, I guess I'm still in
next live show is going to be simply outstanding. No pressure, of course. Antonio La Rosa, and a newer song for him. It's called Tried and True. So not this Friday, but next. Antonio is opening up the night for our next live show. Friday, August 22 at the Blue Light Studio, volume 41 of our sessions. If you're counting at home, P.S., this is going into year 4 at the Blue Light. What a crazy, cool room as well. So it's Focus Your Audio, Antonio La Rosa. Again, 45-minute sets for both. I will interview. You can ask questions too. Why not? Chuck them out there. There's the performance and all that, the intimate, interactive. We try for it anyway. You can buy tickets early through eventbrite.ca, eventbrite, eventbrite.ca for 20 bones, $25 if you wait for the doors. The doors are at 7 o'clock. The show starts around 8. Let's be honest, more like 8:15, 8:20. You heard Quickness, and this is one of their newer songs as well. It's called Sleepless Nights, and I've been seeing a lot of posts about their summer shows online. They're playing a fair amount of shows, so check them out. If you had a chance to see them here in the Lower Mainland, a fair amount, and they are absolutely killer. If you can see Quickness, please do it. Okay, our final guest of episode 371, this week's entertainment guest, is actress and singer Rosita. Rosa's full name, as mentioned off the top, is Rosita Young, but she goes by Rosita. And since she was a little kid, like 4 years old, she remembers telling her mom that she wanted to be on TV. And she's done just that. Born in Jackson, Mississippi, raised in Los Angeles, the heart of the entertainment industry. You've seen her in a lot of stuff. Synchronic in 2019, Bolden the same year, Gateway in 2021, Grudge Match, 12 Years a Slave, Finding Happy, in Roots as well. So listen to Rosita talk about the shows, the movies, the actors and actresses that influenced her early on in life.
Full House.
Full House. Okay.
When I was seeing like the reruns of Full House growing up, I'm like, Mom, why am I not a kid actor? Like, I don't understand.
Right.
It was that when watching older The Cosby Show.
Yes, of course.
With Raven Simone. Just seeing like other little children being successful. And I'm like, I literally do the same thing because honestly, I don't know why I felt this way, but growing up, I always felt like there was a camera following me. I felt like weird things, like crazy things always happen to me. Just like things people will never believe. And I'm like, there has to be a camera. Like it has to be somebody pranking me or something. Like I used to watch like the little prank things on MTV. I'm like, it has to be somebody here.
Yeah,
so I just always felt like my life, or I at some point would be in the public eye.
Fun little quote there. I was like, Mom, why am I not a kid actor? I don't understand. And that was enough. Rose started building her career in high school. The full talk is online now. It's close to a half hour long. You can see it, hear it on Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, of course, the videos again on our YouTube channel. We dove in with Rosita talking about all sorts of things like creativity, the NBA and Kobe Bryant's death. Aliens came up. So did the Teen's Choice Awards, Ice Cube, Nickelodeon, and her awesome career highlights.
Oh, I did a scene with Anthony Mackie in Synchronic.
Cool. And so you're shaking as you're getting on scene and like walk us through, like you're talking back and forth.
Yes.
Before. Like, how does that work? Like you kind of go back and forth before or no?
No. Like I seen him on set, like they keep you in holding. So you're in your trailer, he's in his. And then when it's time to bring you in the room for the scene, a runner goes and gets you and they go get him. And you guys are on the scene together and it's like, hi, and you introduce, you're like, and then you it's kind of weird. It's like, I know you're Anthony Mackie, but you're like, hi, I'm Anthony. And I'm like, I know. I'm like, oh, Rose, you know.
That's great.
So yeah, he was very, he's very like, okay, when you're on set, you got to be respected. Like I was trying to ask a question and some people were talking and he kind of stood on the chair and he's like, Rose is talking. She's asking a question. We have to respect her. And she is an artist. I'm like, oh, I like that. He was like, you got to respect her time. So I started telling people that when I feel like people were disrespecting my time, I said, you have to respect my time.
Right.
And it's just like learning from him. And yeah, he taught me a lot that day about like actors' choices whenever you're acting, like just certain things you could do from like moving your head one direction to like, you know, because sometimes as actors, we get a little, I don't want to say scared, but we don't want to switch the script too much. We don't want to add too many doings and things in there that the writer doesn't have in there, because sometimes I can get offended.
Sure.
But like, he taught me some tips on how to kind of get like a happy medium in there.
Love that. He kind of stood on a chair and he's like, Rose is talking. She's asking a question. We have to respect her. She's an artist. Imagine doing a scene with Anthony Mackie. How cool is that? Rose opened up about the industry in general and talked about managers, acting agents, how she loves scary movies. She told a couple near-death drunk driving stories as well, how she's a personal shopper for people. What? That's a job? Dr. Dre and jazz music came up. So did Scorsese and superhero movies, and how she's a big sports fan.
I mean, come on. Like, I grew up in LA, so Lakers for sure.
Of course.
I do show the Clippers some love too. Like, I feel like a lot of people don't show them enough love. They are LA. You got to show them some love too.
Can you remember where you were when Kobe passed?
Yes, I was in Mississippi, and I just kind of like I was just scrolling down on my timeline, and I just saw people like crying, like, oh my God, like they had his number and wings. I'm like, what's going on? And then like some people were like in disbelief. They're like, no, until like it's absolutely confirmed. And then they were really sad about when they found out his daughter and the other people, the little kids. Like
you don't even want to think it's true, right? Like, you start off with just sheer disbelief that that can't be real.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And do you go to a bunch of games then as well, or?
Whenever I can, whenever I find the time. But I'm more into football actually than basketball. But for a while, LA didn't even have a football team. But now it's like 2 blocks away from where I grew up. That's crazy.
Oh, no way. It's expensive. It's not expensive to go to a NFL game, is it?
No, it's not that expensive.
Yeah.
Like, unless you want to just be like, we're so far on the floor, you can see somebody sweat on their face or something. Yeah.
But otherwise, like, I mean, even just to get in the building for a hockey game, NHL is like fucking $150, per seat. It's like, that's a bit much.
I've been wanting to go to one though. I started watching a couple seasons ago.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to go. I mean, it's a great sport. It's a fast sport.
The team in Florida is one of my favorites.
The Toddcast Podcast. Find us on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, and at toddhancock.ca.
Give you everything that I am. I've been stretching
Without question, one of my favorite bands here in Vancouver. They're called Arlo Wells, and a huge song for those guys called Ghost. I wanted to give them a shout out because I was at their show this past Friday at the Pearl on Granville Street, downtown Vancouver, and they are easily one of our city's best bands of that genre, for sure. Cloudsick and Punk in Public also played. Both of those bands were killer as well. We're so lucky to have the talent, the caliber of bands that we have here in Vancouver. So get out there, support local bands, local acts, artists here. Of course, summertime. What a great time to go see shows as well. Of course, big thanks to this week's guests before we wrap things up. Carbonwire singer Matt Vistnes, Vancouver Canadians third baseman Sean Keys, actress-singer Rosita Young. Thank you all for taking the time to join us, share your story with the west coast of Canada here. And that's going to do it for this one, episode 371, officially in the bag. Once again, my name is Todd Hancock. Thank you so much for being there, for listening. If you like what you heard, please do tell your friends about us. It's a big way of how we grow, of course. We always say it, but it's true. We are part of the Realm.fm network. Check them out. It's a huge database of fiction, nonfiction podcast. You can subscribe to us, again, iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Megaphone, YouTube for all of the video work that we do. It's above and beyond the podcast, goes into live shows and stuff we do with Mandy Stans and all that. Search us out through what else? Toddcast podcast. Huge thanks to all of our amazing sponsors. It's because of them that we can continue to create, let's be honest. You can find links to all sponsor websites at toddhancock.ca. If you would like to sponsor the podcast, you can. For as little as $10 a day. It's cheap. It's inexpensive. There's contact info at the homepage. Maybe we'll talk soon and see what's up. And as always, if you help us find a sponsor, we will give you a commission. You can make money sending a business our way. If they sponsor, of course, right? All right, till next time, don't be an asshole. Nobody wants to be around that. Have fun, play hard. Most of all, believe in yourself.
You've been listening to the Toddcast podcast, powered by Citywide Mortgage Services, dedicated to helping you find the best mortgage rates. Available 7 days a week at citywidemortgage.ca.
American history is full of infamous tales that continue to captivate audiences decades or even hundreds of years after they happened. On the Infamous America podcast, you'll hear the true stories of the Salem witch trials and the escape attempts from Alcatraz, of bank robbers like John Dillinger and Pretty Boy Floyd, of killers like Lizzie Borden and Charles Starkweather, of mysteries like the Black Dahlia and D.B. Cooper, and of events that inspired movies like Goodfellas, Killers of the Flower Moon, Zodiac, 8 Men Out, and many more. I'm Chris Wimmer. Join me as we crisscross the country from the Miami drug wars and Dixie Mafia in the South, to mobsters in Chicago and New York, to arsonists, kidnappers, and killers in California, to unsolved mysteries in the heartland and in remote corners of Alaska. Every episode features narrative writing and cinematic music, and there are hundreds of episodes available to binge. Find Infamous America wherever you get your podcasts. The Old West is an iconic period of American history and full of legendary figures whose names still resonate today, like Jesse James, Billy the Kid, and Butch and Sundance, Sitting Bull, Crazy Horse, and Geronimo, Wyatt Earp, Bat Masterson, and Bass Reeves, Buffalo Bill Cody, Wild Bill Hickok, the Texas Rangers, and many more. Hear all their stories on the Legends of the Old West podcast. We'll take you to Tombstone, Deadwood, and Dodge City, to the plains, mountains, and deserts for battles between the U.S. Army and Native American warriors, to dark corners for the disaster of the Donner Party, and shining summits for achievements like the Transcontinental Railroad. We'll go back to the earliest days of explorers and mountain men, and head up through notorious Pinkerton agents and gunmen like Tom Horn. Every episode features narrative writing and cinematic music, and there are hundreds of episodes available to binge. I'm Chris Wimmer. Find Legends of the Old West wherever you're listening now.
It's ticklish business any way you look at it. Come on, we'll stick together.
Love movies? Love classic movies? So do we. Ticklish Business is the podcast where classic film is discussed in modern times. Hosted by me, film journalist Kristen Lopez, and my co-host, author Emily Edwards, we dive into the golden age of cinema with fun, heart, and serious expertise. As published film historians and lifelong classic movie buffs, we bring insider insights, deep research, and lively debates with a variety of special guests, ranging from celebrities like Holly Madison to TCM luminaries Dave Karger and Eddie Muller, and even family members of old Hollywood legends. Subscribe now to Ticklish Business on your favorite podcast app, and let's talk about old Hollywood today.